If you have sat at your desk and have been dumbfounded by like, why does it feel like my job is to babysit adults? Okay, then this video is for you. And listen, you know how this goes, right? Somebody's feelings, somebody's drama, somebody's mess invariably ends up on your desk. And it's generally because they either couldn't or wouldn't deal with this thing yourself. Okay, so welcome to the wonderful world of babysitting adults. And I'd have to say it's one of the most invisible costs of leadership because it doesn't look like a strategic problem to solve. It just like looks like, well, this is now my job. And the reality is actually it's not. Okay. And this video is going to break down the key difference of why it's not, and more importantly, what to do about it. And babysitting adults is actually one of 6 hidden costs that I call the compensation tax. And the compensation tax is basically a series on the hidden, overlooked, compounding profit and time leaks that end up happening when founders habitually overcompensate for team dysfunction, of which babysitting adults is definitely one. So the clip you're about to see breaks all that down. So let's get to it. Okay, moving on to time leak number 2, babysitting adults. So again, going back to this theme of time spent babysitting adults is still time that is not spent doing something else. Okay. Emotional, mental compensations, that bandwidth is indirect. Babysitting team drama, okay, or should be of adult employees. You can see it like it's like there. So it's much more direct. Okay. This is what creates the friction points in getting things done. So if I have to spend time navigating, reconciling, buffering, managing things that adults shouldn't be getting into to begin with, all of that cumulatively across all of the team, that's what compounds into, okay, well, we're not getting things done. And I know I'm stating the obvious because you feel this every single day. But this is about, okay, have I actually sat down and looked at the cumulative compounding, all arching effects of this across the whole business? Okay. So that's kind of where this is coming from. Now, to get into some of the more specific. So you and your A players compensate for team drama. People that make drama tend to thrive in drama. Drama doesn't get a lot of things done. Who gets a lot of things done? You and your A players. So whatever is not completed by these people, it tends to shift and be put onto you and your A players to actually complete. Okay. And there's an important thing to distinguish here, which is like, what's the difference between like growth and babysitting? Here, I mean like growing employees to like manage situations better. Okay. Growth in general. Doesn't matter if you're thinking about like, okay, like working out, if you're thinking about like relationships and like there's a fight in a relationship and like now we're stronger for the result of it. The commonality is like there's generally a low, but because of that low, we learn something and we grow, right? If you're into martial arts, the sentiment of like we either win or we learn. Okay, so if we're winning, like we keep doing the same thing. If we didn't win, then we didn't lose, but we need to extract a value out of it. We need to extract a lesson out of it. And that is the learning. Okay. So growth, there's a high after a low. Babysitting and the drama that comes along with it, it basically just, when you resolve it, at best, we come back to the baseline. Like we're never really learning anything, right? And going back to what we said at the very beginning, if it's recurring, then it's a compensation tax. Okay. Then it's, I have to continuously get into it and I'm not able to actually move forward. Okay. So babysitting adults, it's compensating for carrying dead weight across finish lines. I know it sounds harsh, but that's fundamentally how it ends up working more often than not in everything that I see with the clients that I walk through this. What you just saw was a clip breaking down the babysitting adults compensation tax. This was 1 out of 6 total patterns that make up the compensation tax, which, like I said before at the beginning, is the overlooked compounding profit and time leaks when founders habitually compensate for team dysfunction. So if anything resonated to you about the babysitting adults, I can guarantee you the other 5 will as well. So a full breakdown of the compensation tax, its impacts across your business overall, and how it manifests in all of its different iterations, like the babysitting adult. You can check out the full 38-minute compensation tax video on the links below. Otherwise, like, subscribe for more videos on how to improve your humanness behind the entrepreneur in the form of leadership, delegation, and productivity. I'll see you on the next one.